tabled. Question number 7, Jami-Lee Ross.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Housing and asks, what policy conclusions, if any, does the government draw from Priced Out, how New Zealand lost its housing affordability, and how consistent are its findings with those of the 2012 Productivity Commission report on housing affordability?
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
The most important conclusion is that we must address restrictive land policies if we are to improve housing affordability. It notes that section prices have soared way ahead of building costs over the past decade and now make up more than 60% of the cost of a house in Auckland. The report also notes that Auckland's Metropolitan Urban Limit, and I quote, favours the old and the rich and punishes the young and the poor. The government is taking action on the full range of issues identified in the Productivity Commission's report covering the costs of building materials, infrastructure, sector productivity, as well as consenting, because there is a high level of consistency in these reports.
Supplementary question, Jami-Lee Ross.
Can the Minister cite any examples of how restrictive land supply policies are allowing very large profits to be made at the expense of homeowners?
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, yes, there was a very good example reported in the Herald, where a 29-hectare rural property at Flatbush in Auckland was bought for $890,000 in 1995, but is still undeveloped but now on the market for $112 million. This profit is coming at the expense of ordinary families trying to afford a home. We must tackle the restrictive and unresponsive land supply policies if we are to address the root causes of housing affordability.
Supplementary question, Jami-Lee Ross.
Have any of these substantive reports on housing affordability from the OECD, the IMF, the New Zealand Initiative or the Productivity Commission concluded that the answer is for the state to embark on a massive house building program?
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, in fact, none of these substantive reports recommend a massive state house building program, and it's simply not credible to claim that you can build a 3-bedroom house in Auckland for $300,000 when the section price in Auckland is now over $325,000, particularly when the advocates for this approach oppose any steps to free up the supply of land. If the answer to less expensive houses is to have the government build them all, I suspect we'll next want them to lower food prices by the government running all the supermarkets.
Question number 8, the Honourable Annette King.